So let's just settle into our meditation posture and bring your mind to the same place your body is. And just feel, just notice what's going on in your mind. And then check your sitting posture. And check your legs, your feet, hands, sits bones, shoulders are over the hips, and imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, just lengthening. Maybe someone's above you like a puppeteer, just very gently lengthening your spine. And the head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, and the tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. Just relax the jaw. And then bring your attention to the crown of the head and relax your scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around your mouth, the jaw. And then bring your attention to the back of the head and relax your scalp there. Just release the tension. And relax your ears and your inner ear, your temples, back of the tongue, the jaw, back of the neck, shoulders. Drop the shoulder blades down and then bring your attention to your throat. Relax your throat and the chest and the belly, arms, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And bring your mind to the breath. And just notice the sensation of the air as you're breathing in is slightly cooler than the air you're breathing out, the air you're exhaling. And you'll feel that sensation somewhere along the outside of your nose. So it depends on whether you've done any Vipassana training. Sometimes they'll teach you to notice the sensation at the base of the nose. Sometimes they'll say the tip. But for our purposes here, it doesn't matter. Just notice the air coming in and out. And then notice if there's any sounds in your environment. And just allow those sounds to be there. And try not to have your mind run off to investigate. And then just notice your thoughts. Again, as they arise and abide and flow on. And try not to engage or get entangled in a conversation. And try and put some space in between each thought. And then just notice them just as an interested observer. Watch your thoughts arise. They'll abide. And then just notice, oh, there's some jealousy, there's a little bit of irritation. There's some happiness. There's a bit of love. So just allow your mind to notice what's happening and then let it go. So you're just sitting on the bank of our river, this very curious and interested scientific observer, watching the mind and not getting swept away with it by that river. So while you're sitting on the bank watching, you're free, you're safe. So let's just bring to mind all those people of our life. So there are our friends, our very dear friends, our family, our children, our spouses, our besties, and our work colleagues. And then there's those people of our life who we have a wee bit of difficulty with. You know, maybe they've harmed us. Maybe we just find them irritating. And then there's those people in our life who, well, you know, they're just kind of strangers. We don't really know them. We pass by in our cars. We pass by on the street, in the supermarket, in the pharmacy, but we don't know them well, and we don't really think about them much. We don't know their birthday. We don't care. And if they died tomorrow, we wouldn't be terribly upset. But this friend, this enemy, and this stranger all are deserving of our equal concern, because everybody, just like you, wants to be happy. Everybody wants to be free from suffering. And everybody has this unbelievable capacity for this enlightened mind. And this is where we're headed tonight. So just remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And LAMA YESHE would say, we create negativity with our mind so we can create positivity with our mind as well. We can change it. So we're purifying using this Vajrasattva practice in the context of the 4 opponent powers. And the first of these is regret. And Lama Rinpoche says that you go a long way to purifying when you start to regret. And regret is not guilt. Regret's a very kind of a grown-up, an adult response to things that we have done. It's like, okay, so I did this. You just own it. And don't blame anyone. You just own it. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of future suffering that we ourselves will experience. Who wants that? So logically, we want to pull out these negative karmic seeds before they actually ripen as future suffering. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger and attachment and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And again, think, I'm sick of this suffering. So then who can I turn to? What can I do about it? So here we come to the power of reliance. And so we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods we can use to purify. And we're not asking or needing Buddha to forgive us. We're using his methods to heal ourselves, to purify ourselves. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, maybe 1 or 2 inches, facing the same way as you. And you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher or your Lama manifesting in this form for your benefit. So he's sitting, he's made of radiant, blissful white light. So very, very powerful light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud. And just like our enlightened potential, which is born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. So he has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for us. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The right is holding a bell representing wisdom. Sorry, the left is holding a bell representing the wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. And you can also imagine Vajrasattva is wearing this 5-pointed crown and jewels and silken robes in the Royal Indian style. He has an aura of light around his head and around his body. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. And think particularly of people you have harmed recently and in the past. and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and we have compassion for them because they will suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So next we come to the power of remedy, and this is the actual medicine. So we're using visualization of light and nectar, and we're also using mantra recitation. So first of all, we purify the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar. This is almost like coming out of a hose. We can also think of maybe a waterfall, very forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sasame sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And think there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. So the next is a purification of the speech. And Vajrasattva now very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can imagine all your gossip and your harsh speech and your useless speech and lying, carelessly talking about nothing, talking badly about other people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing, and it's overflowing quite forcefully, disappearing into space as we recite this mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine that it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. So as I've been saying, you have that friend who's asking your advice, and all that comes out of your mouth are words that will be of benefit to that person, helping them, soothing their mind, wisdom, kindness, compassion. This is what we want. I think this is what everybody really wants. So next is a purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a room that's pitch black and you switch on a light. That darkness is instantly dispelled, isn't it? So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all the attachment and the neediness and the anger and depression and resentment and jealousy, bitterness and grudges, all of this is instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dido Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dido Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Saka A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Saka A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Saka A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Saka A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of your suffering, all of our delusions are the source of all of our own suffering. It's what causes us suffering. And also it's what causes us to harm others with our body and our speech. And imagine this is totally purified, finished. And now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and compassion and kindness and bliss and wisdom. So the next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. And if you wish, as you can imagine as this nectar and light is pouring in, you could recite a couple of mantras for each for the visualization of the body and the speech and the mind that we've just done. Or you can just imagine light and nectar just simply pouring in, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Saka A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Saka A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Saka A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Saka A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Saka A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Saka A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Saka A Hum Pe. So now feel you are completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve. This is the fourth and final step of the purification process. But first of all, just rejoice that it's Friday night and you've decided to come here and do this meditation. Well, that's kind of amazing. So just really rejoice. It's the end of the week. You're probably tired. Maybe some people wanted to go out, but you decided to come here. So that's really super. And then rejoice in the efforts that you've been making to work on all your kind of little bits and pieces, or refraining from doing this and that that's harmful. So this is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind again. And with our mind, it's all this, very often it's all this kind of negative self-talk that we carry on with. Oh, half the time we don't even know it's a script that's running in the background, habitually running in the background, constantly serving to keep us down. So I think it's very good if all of us make an attempt to get on top of this kind of doubting mind that we have. So there's that. So this, and because like without this determination, without this decision that we're going to make, we're just going to keep making the same old mistakes, following the same old habits over and over again. So we just have to, at some point, have to say, okay, so I've decided I'm not going to do this anymore. But anymore is a little bit difficult. It's like a New Year's Eve promise or New Year's resolution. So we say, give ourselves a timeline. I'm not going to do such and such for 5 seconds or a minute or overnight while I'm asleep. And you won't, particularly while you're asleep, because you'll be asleep. You won't be doing things like gossiping. So you just say to yourself, make a decision, a determination, and then you can expand on your refraining. And this determination to not do again gives us the strength to change. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind. He melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown and think, my guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call that union oneness. And Rinpoche now recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. So we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to you may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created this evening doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And a long life prayer for His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, O Tub Shul Chang Jin Jam Gan Galloway, Tenzin Kyong Pilway Kunzo Dog Porze, Chog Sum Kurwe Legmon Tudrum, Padag Sog Dulje Kondu Jab Ten Shog. For Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. Share a beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. So there we are, another day, another week, gone like a dream. Everybody, please have a wonderful weekend. Lots of love. I think Venerable Rabina's teaching Mary, what's the course again?
It's a weekend intensive. It's the Intro to Tantra, and it meets tomorrow Mountain Time from 10 to 3, and then on Sunday from 12 to 4. And within each of those days, there's a break, a lunch break.
Okay. Thanks, Mary. Okay. Lots of love, everybody.
Oh,
Sweet dreams.